Hey guys, I found a permanent fix that will work 125%. This fix always works and will keep working for a very long time. I've had it fixed now for about 3 months, still working perfectly fine. I've had no problems at all. So basically what happened was with the laser, it wasn't close enough to the disc, so it wasn't picking up that there was a disc there. So you have to adjust some screws, and that will both give it more power to read that there is a disc, because it's running low on power, and it'll bring it closer to the disc. You just have to adjust 2 screws in the right position. You just have to play around with them until it eventually works. But once it works perfectly fine forever. It's permanent fix, and this I can promise you. I don't know if it is on all drives, but this is a BenQ, Philips and BenQ. I don't know, it maybe most possibly will work on the other drives as well. But okay, so what you want to do is, obviously yours will be over. I've just modified mine and whatnot. There will be 4 screws. There's one there, basically in all 4 corners, just there. Just untighten those screws, and then these lids will just pop off. See, there goes the bottom, and then the top will just slide off like that. See. And another thing that you guys probably didn't know, which I can show you. Let me just take his disc out. Underneath here, okay, well, there'll be these wires. Let me just disconnect them quickly. Over here, just like that. And then this white wire requires quite a bit of force and some wriggling. Just a little bit of wriggling. There you go. It's out. And there you go. You have your disc drive. What you guys may not have known is if you turn it around, grab like a screwdriver of some sort, and there'll be, see this little plastic thing here, this thing here. You just push that in like that, and your CD drive will pop out like so. See, and this will go lower down, just lower down. But anyways, you don't need to do that. That was just to show you that it can actually happen. Close it and pop it back forward. Now the 2 screws that you're looking for are right over here. It's that one and that one. They just a basic Phillips screwdriver, just one of those Phillips, yeah. Just have to, well, mine's already fixed, so I'm not going to change anything because it's perfect right now. You have to turn this one anti-clockwise, which is left, and this one also left. Just turn it slightly, check if it works. If it doesn't, turn them both slightly again. Check if it works. If it doesn't, turn them both slightly again. Just play around with the turning and everything, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Just turn them around, but first start off with anti-clockwise, left. Start off with that and go from there. My settings are perfect. They turn to the correct thing. Also, you can use a knife if you would like to turn the screws. Once again, showing you those 2 there, and it should work perfectly fine. But if the problem with your drive is that the disc, if you open it and it's over here, then the problem is that it's not reading a disc, because the disc comes around there, so it's not picking up a disc. What you have to do is move it over here, just move it down, not all the way, just to there, just over there to the starting point. Then what you need to do is, before you shut down, you need to open your tray and then shut down, and then the disc thing won't start over there, it will start over there again, because the problem with that is your thing is not resetting. It's sitting over there and it's not resetting, coming back there. When you turn off, it's starting there again. It needs to reset. So open the tray, it'll reset, then switch off, and the disc will close. And that should be your problem fixed. Trying to think of any other problems it could be as well. Try taking a earbud, one of those earbuds, and just rubbing in circles around on the lens. Just over there, just in circles, but be very careful not to touch the lens, otherwise you will damage it and probably will not work. And that'll also maybe fix it. Another thing is, this motor right here if you turn it and you feel it's kind of resisting, mine isn't, you can see it spins, but if it just stops like that when you spin like this and it stops, then you know that there's and you just gotta move this back a little bit, being very careful not to touch the lens. Then you gotta take some sort of a grease or a liquid substance and basically just lift it up, see how it lifts, and stick it right underneath there, just lubricate it so that it can spin. To make it even easier, you can turn it around and with a tiny Phillips screwdriver, maybe like, let's see, where is it? You don't hear it, I promise him to you. Okay, well I can't find it now. Anyways, with a small, maybe like this, small Phillips screwdriver, you untighten this one, and those three screws basically. Just untighten them, and then it'll pop right off. It'll just come right off, and then you can easily lubricate it in your hands. With other drives, you can untighten the screws, but this is a different drive. If you have like a screw here and a screw there, just untighten them and this whole thing will come off. Then it makes it easier to lubricate. But once that whole thing's over, it has the drive that I'm talking about has like these cables, white cables that you can disconnect all over. You see this drive you can't, it's soldered on, that you can disconnect and whatnot. That's the drive. You can unscrew there, and then once it's off you can just pull the whole thing apart and lubricate it fully. But for this drive, just take those three screws apart and lubricate it, then it'll spin. That's also another problem that can be fixed. Basically that's all the problems that could possibly happen. One thing do not do is do not bang on the top of your Xbox to fix it. That'll just make things worse. That'll make it require for you to bang some more in order for it to work. It won't. None of these things will probably work if you've banged too much. Trust me, I did that on my other drive. I went onto the internet, I checked, they told me to bang on the top of my Xbox, so I did, and it was working for about 2 months and whatnot. But then when I checked on the internet for a permanent fix, then none of these things worked because I damaged something while banging the whole time trying to get it to work. So that's just, don't bang on it, because that messes things up completely even more. Another thing that you could possibly do to stop it from all of a sudden not working, it might not be possible, but if you get a really tiny fan, really tiny fan that could fit right over there in that area, really tiny, that will be facing upwards to your DVD drive, just underneath there, underneath your DVD drive. Because what also might happen is if you have your DVD drive on too long, this thing here gets a bit too hot, and mainly the whole board. If it gets too hot, then things will start malfunctioning and all sorts of things. Then you've really messed up. So basically, but then if you do put a fan over there, let me tell you where the positive and negative will be. So say obviously you've got a fan, like even a computer fan or any fan small. What you will need is, let's say, a computer fan. You just cut off the end that, you know, that the big end. Let me see if I can find a computer fan for you. Like this end right here. You cut it off. You see, like, yeah, this piece. See this fan right here? It only has two, one positive and one negative. What you do is you just cut that apart from that, and then you have the red and black wires. Now, the black wire will connect to the case, so you can solder it, you can stick it, just as long as it's touching the case, anywhere around the case. That's the ground, the negative, and positive. Now I've already tried this, but I took mine out because I opened it today. So anyways, the positive will come on one of these wires. Now let me show you which one it is. It's bottom right, always bottom right. Even if you turn it like this, there's no bottom right. You see, if you turn it like that, there's no bottom right. See, it's empty. So turn it like this, and there's a bottom right. That wire right here, this one right here, bottom right. You just have to, like I did, see there, and then connect the wire to that, or connect the positive straight to that, because it's right here where you're going to put the fan. Connect the positive right there, and you'll be good to go. then your fan will work perfectly fine. If you want to use a, what are those things? No, you should be fine. This is a 12 voltage power, so make sure to get a fan that accepts 12 volts. Otherwise, you're going to have to get those little things that substitute power. But anyways, yes, okay. So that's the power supply right here. This thing right here. Yes, and that should fix your problem permanently. Permanently. The fan should make sure that it doesn't malfunction. Those two screws, once they're adjusted, it'll work perfectly fine. And I've had no problems. If you have a problem, just SMS me and I'll try my best to help you. And there you go. For every drive, there is a fix. And this thing is working fine. I'll show it to you now. Just give me a second, and then basically just put your whole thing back together and it'll work perfectly fine. There'll be no problems. To test it, don't put your whole thing back together, just plug those wires back together. Let me just hold on a second. Plug these wires back together, the power cable and the reader, and start them like so. You see, all you need to do is put the top on. So basically take the top off, turn the screw a little bit, put the top on, plug the power in. You don't need to, that it can work perfectly fine like this. Open the disc tray, put the disc in. If you see that it reads, then it's working fine. Don't touch those screws again. It's perfect settings. If it doesn't read, take a power out. Make sure to take a power out. You'll shock yourself if you touch it. Take the power out, take the top off and adjust the screws again. Put the top back on, test it, put the power, okay, and eventually it would work. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. It took me a very long time to find out. Thanks.